Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Down to Earth Astronomy. For those of you who have been following me on Twitter, you will know that a few weeks ago my new graphic card arrived, and that of course means that I can finally begin to actually play with my Oculus Rift. Here it is. And I'm gonna go through my initial impression of the headsets, the whole setting it up, and also how it plays with Elite Dangerous. And I'm going to focus on Elite Dangerous since it's the primary reason why I actually brought this headset in the first place. But I just noticed a really fun thing. You see, if I hold this in the light, you can actually see the small LEDs on the headset. I cannot see this with my eyes, but you can see them on the camera. That the camera is tracking. That's pretty neat. And I noticed something funny, and that is this bracket here also has a set of LEDs, meaning when you're facing away from the camera, it can still track you, and that's actually pretty neat. I didn't notice this before I started recording. But anyway, the setup. Let's go ahead and switch screens here. Here we go. So once you install, follow the clicking next guide, and the whole setup of this Rift is pretty easy. But to get it to play with Elite, the way I've done it is I installed Elite Dangerous in Steam. Normally I had separate launchers, but now I just decided to install it in Steam because it was much easier to get it to work with the Rift in this way. So, but what you have to do is, once you install the actual Oculus software, you get this Oculus home screen, and you go into settings, and in general settings you have to activate this unknown sources, which allows you to pair the Rift with SteamVR. So once you've done that and you install SteamVR, you get a small box up here that you can click, and that will open this window, which allows you to pair your Oculus headset with SteamVR. So you can see at the moment I have a base station or a camera and a headset, and of course I do not have the controllers because they're not done for the Rift yet. And you simply just have those two windows open, and from there on it's pretty straightforward. You simply just click play in VR. So I'm gonna put up the headset, and you guys can join me once I launch the game. And we are in game, and this is what the main menu is gonna look like once you play with the Rift. Hold on, I'm just gonna adjust this a bit. Here we go. Let's go ahead, and I just need to click into the game and start up just in solo play. Okay, so before we start, I maybe should say, if you have a tendency to get motion sickness, I'm not sure if this kind of gameplay is for you. I personally do not have any problems with it, but I know that some people can get motion sick when playing with an Oculus Rift. So bear that in mind before you go out and buy it yourself. Let's just go ahead and see if we can find a planet, because the first thing I want to talk about here, that is the immersion, the feel you get when you play with the Oculus Rift. Oh yeah, I should say, the field of view in the recording is very narrow. I don't know why it is, but it's only on the recording. I mean, my field of view in the game is wider, and that's a problem that I have to try and resolve later on. But about the whole feel and the immersion, now I've been playing Elite for quite some time on a normal screen without a VR headset, and trying it with a VR headset, you can really feel that the game is built for this kind of gameplay. It plays very well. And the feel you get, you can really get the feel of the size of the planets that you don't get when you play on a monitor. And I've several times when I've been approaching a planet a little bit too fast, I would simply duck out of the way or try to cover my face, simply because I really felt that I'm going to fly into this planet now. And I tried a demo of what's the name, E-Valkyries, and in the last part of the demo your ship gets blown up and the canopy cracks open. And as that canopy cracked open, I hold my breath simply because I was expecting that the whole room would be vented. And it's that immersive, and it feels, frankly, it feels amazing. So if you're playing Elite for the immersion and want to get the feel, if you're into exploration and getting the feel for the objects, just flying around the planets, looking at them, I would definitely recommend trying to play this with a VR headset. And then there are though a few drawbacks for playing with the VR headset, and there are a few bugs here and there. One thing that I found annoying right after I started playing is that all those menus that you would normally have at the side and beneath you, they would constantly pop open when you looked at them. So I disabled them so that they would not open when I look at them, and I simply just wired that to a hat on my stick and throttle, so I can just open them as I see fit, even without looking at them. I don't know if you can see this at the edge of the screen. And it makes it so much more enjoyable, and I could imagine, especially in a combat situation, it could be annoying to have those panels open up, because as they open up you will switch focus to them, meaning that suddenly some of the controls that you normally would use to control your ship would now be wired to actually control that menu. So to avoid that situation, I disabled the ability for them to open up as you look at them. So that's one thing, but that's luckily something you can simply do with settings. One other thing I noted also is sometimes some of the buttons in some of the menus will overlap. For instance, these two could sometimes overlap and simply be placed incorrectly. So that's one thing to note. Another thing is, if you're playing with a mouse and keyboard. Oh, is there anything here? No. If you're playing with a mouse and keyboard, I would not recommend buying a headset like this, simply because it's gonna be very difficult to find your way around and find the right buttons at the right time. At least it is for me. I'm playing with a stick and throttle, and I have mapped all my controls to the joystick, simply because it's too difficult to play with a mouse, and there is some bugs when using a mouse and a headset. When using a mouse and a headset at the same time. I'll try to show you some of them here. If we open up for instance, the system map. Whoop, that was a bit too big. Zoom out a bit. So this is still have to get used to the new controls. So for instance, if I took my mouse, you should be able to see it on screen. Hold on, let me look. Yeah, you can see it. But you can see the selected objects, they move around as I turn my head, which is a bit annoying. And even though, I don't know how this looks for you guys, but right now I'm trying to click on the third planet, and nothing. Okay, so now I'm clicking on the first planet up here. So again, as you can see, the mouse interface in the system map is very buggy. It only works with the side panel out here, and it's the same thing if we open up the galaxy map. Here we go. Let's try to get a bit of an overview, and maybe another map types, make it a bit more easy. So if I try to select this star, for instance, or any star, and you can see it flies to a completely different area, and we have the same problem with those floating menus that move around as I move my head. And that's, for that specific reason, I wouldn't play this game with a mouse and keyboard. I would only suggest doing this if you already have a stick and throttle, or maybe buy a stick and throttle once you're at it, and it just adds to the level of immersion, because this is really what it's all about. It is getting more immersed in the game, and it does that very, very, very good. It's an amazing feeling, and I definitely think it's something that every Elite player should try at least once. But again, I would recommend that you try to find some place where you can at least try the headset on for a bit of time before you actually go out and buy it, just to make sure that you're not getting motion sickness or any or feeling any kind of sick when you use the headset. Simply because it is a large investment, and it would be a waste spending that much money on a piece of tech that you can only use for 15 minutes at a time, and then you have to sit down and look into a wall for half an hour in order to feel well again. So again, I would recommend trying it out before you go out and buy it. But if it's no problem for you and you can use it for an extended period of time without any problems, it's definitely worth the investment, I think. It's amazing, and I haven't been trying many other games yet, but I'm pretty sure I will. And there will probably also be videos about this on the channel. Because I really enjoyed it. It's really amazing. So, but anyway, this was just a short introduction to my first week in Elite Dangerous with the Oculus Rift. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more virtual reality content, give the video a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. I will be probably asking questions over there about what kind of games I should play, and ask for suggestions. And until next time, have a good one.